The Jesster Radio Podcast.
Jesster Radio. What's happening? New episode, new guest. John, bro, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Jesse. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Of course, bro. And you definitely, what do you weigh now?
Currently, I'm about 128.
Okay, I was going to say you're the biggest person, but I think Sibu's still heavier than you.
Yeah. My heaviest has been 148.
Sure.
But I just found like it was very, very hard walking around at that weight.
Yeah.
It was exhausting. And then also like you just lose the aesthetics, you know.
But I mean, you were still lean at that weight.
I was pretty lean, not like I am now. You know? I still had my abs out, but you just lose those aesthetics.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
so you prefer, being
definitely
leaner, but still obviously large.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, I find it easier in the gym with my training. And then just in normal day life, bro, it's easier. You can't believe how like hard, simple things can become like getting up off the floor. Bro.
Well, how tall are you?
194, so nearly 6'5", yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, going in an airplane must be awful for you.
Yeah, it's not great. You got to.
And I mean, you do travel a lot.
I do, bro. I do.
You go to India. What do you do in India?
So, bro, I started going to India about 6 years ago. I do many things in India, actually. I mean, I first went there to be at the Body Power Expo, to stand at a stand. At that stage, I was signed with a company. At that stage, was the biggest company in India, a supplement company. But from then, I've moved on to a different company. Now they're the biggest supplement company in Asia. They're called Big Muscles Nutrition. So I'll go and represent them at expos, which is really, really cool because you get to meet like all the stars and that type of thing, and the Indian people are really, really amazing in support. And then I do stuff like I do gym openings there, and then I do appearances, I do some seminars, and then my last big thing was actually a year ago right now, and that was I filmed a movie with Kai Green and Joe Linda and Morgan Est, and that movie still hasn't been released because of lockdown.
Really?
So we're waiting for that because that's going to be exciting, bro. I mean, the first single of the movie got released, and that's got over 130 million views on YouTube now.
Who was the artist?
So it's called so the movie's called Pogaroo, and the main action hero, he's the oak who looks like he's singing, Indian movies.
Yes.
They always like that. So the song's called Caribou, but it's over 130 million views, yeah.
Sure.
So as soon as that movie gets released, bro, hopefully we're looking at more work, in the acting side.
Yeah, so that's what you'd like to get into Bollywood, or would you prefer to be in Bollywood or Hollywood?
To be honest, probably Bollywood, bro.
There's tons of money in Bollywood.
There's way more money. There's 3 movie industries in India that are bigger than Hollywood. Okay. So there's Bollywood, Tollywood, and the silver screen.
Okay.
All 3 are bigger than Hollywood. That's how much money there is in India.
Well, I think the most paid actor is in Bollywood.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the figures that these guys charge. There's a very well-known Indian actor that charges $1 million for 6-minute appearance.
Yeah.
If he comes and does like a 6-minute little talk on the stage, $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's excluding, getting his whole entourage there, flying him first class and putting him up in suites and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's obviously, is your main income from that and online training and...
Yeah. So, I mean, I was doing some personal training. I still am doing a little bit at Gold's Gym, but in a different way, not sort of one-on-one too much. Online training, of course, which is awesome. And then, the retainers from my sponsors. And then, Jess, I'm going to look at obviously doing more movies. Because, like you said earlier, I mean, firstly, that actually is my passion. I've always wanted to act, and I feel like living what I'm supposed to do when I'm acting. But at the same time, it also brings in great money,
Yeah.
So,
do you think you're limited by being in South Africa, though?
Definitely, bro. Unfortunately, just for simple things, Jess. Like as soon as I land in India, my social media following starts to go up.
Yeah, 100%.
And it starts to go up 2,000-3,000 sometimes followers a day.
Sure.
And when you're in South Africa, it's hard. You don't. I'm stuck. I'm stuck at the moment. It's not going up. And I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that we don't have a huge organic reach because we're at the tip of Africa, posting from here. as soon as you're in India and you post, your organic reach, because of their population, is so much bigger that you just do grow, and I think it goes with every other country actually in the world. South Africa does limit us in that way. Another thing I know about South Africa and South African companies is they haven't understood the necessity to pay their athletes what we're supposed to be paid. The guys in India, bro, they know if they want you for a product, for an endorsement, they're going to pay you, and they pay you in dollars.
Yeah.
And that goes, the same. I've got some good friends, like Joe Linda and stuff. They get paid really, really well, bro, from all these other companies, in the UK and obviously America and Germany. In South Africa, they want to give you like some free products and
maybe
and
a little tiny kickback if you sell a ton of their products.
Yeah. So we do have it a little bit harder as athletes here in South Africa, I think.
And you now, would you, if you could move tomorrow, would you?
Sure. I'm probably am gonna, in this next year, I probably am gonna be spending a more time there. I probably will be going back and forth a lot more and spending longer periods of time there. So I do have some businesses here. I do have a director in a CBD company here, and then also have another company that we're releasing oxygen in a can, like bio OxyBoost, like them.
Okay.
But that type of thing I can still run from from India, if I'm there. And if I'm there, I've already been told by a few of my contacts there, if I'm there, bro, I will be able to sign so many more endorsements and just be on hand for auditions and stuff like that. I mean, just like doing adverts in India will bring you huge income.
Yeah.
Huge income. And so I will be spending more time there. But to answer your question, it's also a beautiful country. It's an amazing country. But coming from South Africa, it's very different in terms of the energy.
Okay.
Right. So I always feel like when you're in India, you're just like pulsating, bro. You're like vibrating because there's so many people. There's so much going on.
And I mean, you're a large guy, so I mean, people are going to be bumping into you.
So you always you're taking photos morning to night. You never stop. When I am in India, I normally have, if I'm at expos, I'll have bodyguards around. Otherwise, you can't walk.
Sure.
But that type of attention and stuff is awesome. But at the same time, it can also be very, very draining. You know.
100%.
I have been there before on a Thursday. Arrived on a Thursday, been at an expo over the weekend, and come back on a Monday, and I've lost 15 kilos.
Yeah.
And that's literally just from posing, bro. You can't believe how much you pose, from morning to night.
And is it the people that maybe know you from social media, or is it maybe people that just see you like this guy clearly must?
Yeah, I think it's both, because the funny thing is I get huge attention at the expos when I'm in person, and then the following grows when I'm there. But as soon as I'm in like South Africa, there are Indian guys with much bigger followings, but they won't get the same attention at the expo,
Okay.
So I think it's both, and that's also why when I'm there, the following just starts to grow. And if I'm going to spend a month or month and a half there at a time, definitely, I think there'll be a lot more opportunities.
Yeah. But I think also in India, there's a greater appreciation for bodybuilding.
Definitely, bro. For all sport,
yeah.
For all sport, for acting, because I think it's got something to do with the Hindu religion. They're very used to already worshipping gods like Shiva and gods that they can see, right? Statues and that type of thing. When you transfer that mentality over, it's easier for them to admire actors and athletes and stuff like that, and it's almost natural. But in South Africa, we completely the opposite. I don't know if you have witnessed this, but I mean, if you're walking you're in great shape, you're walking in a vest, and you're in a shopping center, guys aren't going to approach you. They will normally just like stare at you and talk behind your back and
it's
whatever.
not appreciation. It's almost this guy.
It's jealousy, but in India it's completely different, bro. They will see you and they'll come and tell you how much they admire you. And I actually found it like that in America too, to be honest. Like when I was in Vegas in 2014 and 15, I thought there's a lot of big oaks around here, walking around, you're not going to get attention. But I did. I got nice attention with friendly appreciation. Guys coming up to you, hey, bro, that looks great. How do you do it? This physique is fantastic. And not out of not out of a jealous way, we do get in South Africa.
In South Africa, it almost seems vindictive, or it seems
it does, bro. I mean, have you? I just noticed certain things like, if, for instance, Elton Yankees was walking around in Paris, and he would have people coming up to him wanting autographs and stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
He's a top rugby player. But Elton Yankees can go and train at a gym in South Africa, and not one person, I've watched it, not one person will go and ask for his autograph.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or for a photo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
It's almost people hating on someone that's been successful.
Yeah.
It's almost trying to pull them back down to their level.
It's really weird. I have seen a bit of a shift with the South African athletes. I have the physique and bodybuilders and stuff. I see now that the South Africans are starting to support each other a lot more. I never used to get comments from South Africans on my posts.
Social media.
Yeah, really never. Now I do. I get a lot, which is cool. So hopefully the guys can do that. Can just support and be happy for people's success rather than jealous, I suppose.
For you to maintain your weight, do you have to eat a lot? Obviously.
I do, Jess, but the biggest obstacle in my bodybuilding has been the amount that I have to eat. Because I don't actually have such a huge appetite.
Okay.
I was a very, very, very skinny guy when I started, and obviously very fast metabolism, but at the same time not a huge appetite. So it's always been the fact that I have to force my meals down a lot of the time. And if I want to, especially if I want to take my weight over 130, then I can't skip meals at all. Then I've got to get the calories in.
I can imagine your following is mainly overseas. Yeah. So obviously, I assume your online clients would also predominantly be overseas.
Yeah.
How do you work with the app, or just mainly websites, or how do you?
I work with the app. I think it's those apps are really cool, bro. In the beginning of online training, I was a little bit skeptical myself, even. I didn't think that you could bring an athlete in impeccable condition when you're looking at him over online, but I realized you actually can. You can bring Oxy in looking phenomenal, and the apps are great because there's videos of us explaining the exercises. We've obviously got the eating plans all loaded there and whatever, and then we can track through that. And then what I like to do with my clients too is I like to get them to send me sort of WhatsApp videos of them doing certain movements that I want, and then I will critique them like that.
Fortunately now also the quality of the videos are far better. You can see more detail, and you can obviously go into you can see literally like how much body fat is because it's not pixelated and it's not blurry.
Exactly.
Now your training, what do you do your split? How do you do your split?
So currently it's probably a 6-day split. I'll start on a Monday, shoulders. I'll do abs and calves probably on a Monday. Tuesday I'll do quads. Actually probably full legs. Wednesday we'll go to chest and probably hit abs and calves again. Thursday I'll do back. Friday arms, and then Saturday I'll hit chest again. So for me, I've always had legs that grow pretty fast. So it hasn't been something that I've had to hit like other guys have to hit constantly, the story. For me, my legs luckily respond nicely, but for me, the biggest obstacle has always been my chest, the thickness in my pecs, Also long levers, long arms, for many, many years without even knowing. In this sport, it's amazing. It doesn't matter how long you do it, you just carry on learning and learning and learning.
Yeah,
and for years, I think when I was doing bench and I was pressing and I was doing stuff like that, I was very tricep dominant, and I was also bringing in the anterior delts. I was doing that stupid mistake that a lot of guys do when they try and close the movement at the end, and because of my long arms, the triceps like to get involved. So as soon as I could take my ego out of it, bro, and this one guy, I remember his name was Rudy, he said to me, bro, like, you're pushing heavy weights, but but nothing's happening with your chest. I said, but I think it's a genetic thing. He says, no, bro, it's not. It's like you just don't have any muscle connection, mind to muscle connection.
So
with
that's something you'd say is definitely, you know, to people maybe you think you're lifting the heaviest weight is most important when it's not.
No, I mean, that is something that I really, really believe in, I guess, is like, yes, we have to lift weights and we have to challenge the body because our body works on a system of overload, for sure. But, you know, if a guy is doing a flat bench press and he's using 40% anterior delt, 40% triceps, 20% chest, or if he's doing a bench where he's using 80% chest and 20% stabilizers, and the weight is less on the 80%, he's going to get a lot more benefit from the 80% because 80% of his chest is going to be moving the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get most of the damage, the micro tears in that muscle, and therefore we can build it up bigger and stronger. A lot of the time, most of the time with guys, you know, especially in their earlier careers, they're just worried about weight. For me, I like to say strength for us is like a side effect. It should be a side effect of our sport. Our predominant goal should be getting our physiques and sculpturing our physiques to the way we want it to look.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and if we were powerlifters, we'd be benching completely different. We would be bringing the triceps in. We'd be dropping the elbows closer to the body. We'd be using more shoulders, bridging our back higher. And because then our predominant goal would be to lift as heavy as possible. So I know it's an ego thing with guys, but you know, if you do it properly and you move the weight properly, eventually the strength side effect will be amazing, that you'll be benching a huge weight and it'll look like you're on a machine.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference there, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, then we don't risk injuries, bro, you know, for our careers. Because, you know, in this sport, we can go for a long time. I mean, look at Michael Hearn.
Yeah.
Michael Hearn's, turning 52?
Do you believe he's natural?
I've heard he has the most phenomenal genetics, blah, 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 but bro, I remember when he did Battle Dome, and he was blown in Battle Dome, bro. It didn't look like he was natural in Battle Dome. I mean, he would look like he was holding quite a lot of water back then. But, you know, regardless if he is or not, he's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I think the thing is, he's an amazing athlete, and he looks amazing being on juice.
Yeah.
So why deny it?
To
the general public like that. Like I understand in a perspective of, you know, impressionable young people looking at it and, you know, making bad choices and going overboard and doing things wrong. But in terms of, I think everyone in the industry will look at him and be like, bro, you kind of are.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you're at 52. I mean, you have to be supplementing with tests.
Like that video with him and Rich Piana.
Yeah.
Like you can just see this guy is in phenomenal shape for his age.
Exactly.
How old are you now?
I'm 39 now, yeah. So...
Still very young.
Still young for the sport, you know. It's lekker. And I mean, like I said to you, Jess, you know, obviously I want to carry on in the sport, but I don't compete anymore.
Yeah.
But I want to carry on guest posing at the expos and doing all that stuff. That's great. But also, you know, move a little bit more into the acting side and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.